Jones because he knew he was pretty accurate up until that time, but everybody else did. It's going to 200. It's going to 300 barrels. You know, easy. What happened? About 6 months later, boom. The bottom dropped out in the oil market and it went down below 50. That's been in the 40s. That's been in the 30s. Well, why is that? Why did the internationalists that control things, the bankers, basically, that's who we're talking about, the international banking cartels, why did they want to take the rug out from under the oil industry? Anybody have any ideas why?
Bankrupt them.
That's partly right. But what would trigger the stock market to fall? You have countries going bankrupt. Saudi Arabia needs about $80 per barrel to remain solvent in their oil monies. Many other countries, Russia needs about an $80 level also. So if they're not going to get that, guess what?
See ya.
It's only going to be a matter of time before they become bankrupt. So we're going to have Russia, Middle East, many European nations, all oil exporting countries actually go bankrupt in the not too distant future. So what Lindsay has been saying has been very accurate to this time, up to this point. He went out west a few months ago, and here we're getting into the food. I started talking to a lot of ranchers, and he found out that in the Colorado area, Oklahoma, parts of Texas, this big swath, a region out there, produces about 40% of America's grain food. What he found out was most of these farmers are not going to be able to plant their crops in the usual volume that they have before because they can't get the credit to get the seed. They can't get the credit to get the fertilizer, the ammonia. So we're looking at very possibly food shortages coming this fall. At least the first hints of it. And then in 2010, if the situation with the farmers doesn't turn around, we're looking at some real hard times food-wise, folks. We're looking at possible widespread food shortages in 2010.
Riots.
What was that?
And riots all around.
Oh, well, absolutely. So we see it all being set up. They want, you know, the Hegelian dialectic, like what we went over last week, or on March 8th in Ashland. Thesis, synthesis, antithesis, or problem, reaction, solution. You create a problem, you wait till there's a good enough reaction where all the people are all up in arms about it, and then you give them the solution to the problem that you created. So that's what's going to be happening with all these city riots and all the unrest all across the country. There was a town in Arkansas that went under martial law just a few months ago. I don't know if you saw that in the news, but there was a complete town that went under lockdown under martial law. What did the people do? Nothing. That's cool. Yeah, we got road checks, roadblocks, checkpoints. We got curfews. No problem. We're good little sheep. We're going to go along with that. This is no big deal. So it's an incremental turning up of the heat on the pot of water with the frog in it, and we're the frog. And everybody seems to be getting used to what's going on. This is a very, very scary sign. Very scary.
I think the other day they already talked about everybody going to
Right. That's another thing that I think Lindsey Williams said, and Bob Chapman also said that they think that they're going to forego the Amero, skip the Amero step completely because everything is going so quick that they don't think they're going to even have time to do the North American Union Amero synthesis. So it's very possible. There's a lot of people waking up, 10 years ago, might have had one person here, if that. This is not too bad for the first Richland County meeting. This is not too bad. What we need to do,
Hey, you ready
check
for
my
a
notes here, make
takeover?
sure I hit everything I wanted to.
Let's need soybeans. Hey, Scott.
All right, is Sheriff Sheldon here? Is Sheriff Sheldon here? No? Okay. He was invited. Unfortunately, he did attend the Ashland meeting, and he gave me a nice little phone call afterwards. So he does know what we're doing. We're in contact with him, and it sounds like he's for it. He can't come out and say it, but it does sound like he's behind this. He's a big Second Amendment supporter. In fact, in a reply letter that he sent to me months ago, he said he is a huge Second Amendment supporter and supporter of right to carry. So, sounds like Steve Sheldon's a good guy. All right. How many of you guys would be willing to go with a citizens group, a delegation, and meet with Sheriff Sheldon just to say hi and say we're concerned? How many would be willing to go? Okay, great. Okay. After the meeting, would you guys put your names down on the list just so that I can contact you then and let you know when we're going to go talk to Steve? Basically, you wouldn't even have to say anything. Just say hi. You know, we're here for you. We're here to support your defense of our Second and Fourth Amendment rights. And we make business.
Do you want to see a chemtrail in action?
Yeah.
They've been flying all over there.
Bruce has got a great video. I keep plugging Bruce, but he's got a great video called Aerosol Crimes by Carnicom. Clifford Carnicom, he's also a geophysicist. He's got a great website on the internet called carnicom.com, carnicom.com. And he is probably the leading expert in this country on chemtrails.
What's the idea though?
And they're real. And they're scary.
Well, there's
Go to
aluminum and putrefied blood and pharmaceuticals and
learn about it,
what
and
do they figure
also
it's gonna do?
pick up his
What's it do to
DVD
people?
back there.
Whatever. I mean, aluminum's a neurotoxin.
All right.
Putrefied blood weakens our immune system.
I know I saw chemtrails Thursday
Okay,
morning.
let's
real
go over
big,
some of the
heavy
huh,
over
what
in
was
Iceland.
Yeah, there's some right there.
Yeah.
CARNICOM, Carnicom, just like it sounds almost. Let me go through a little bit of the news, and then we'll get into some of the organizing we need to do. Because we're not going to be, just observing. We're going to be working. Okay, the Missouri State Police handed out handouts a few weeks ago. I don't know if you guys know about this, but the Missouri State Police handed out these unbelievable documents. And I've got a copy of it right here if some of you would like to see it after the meeting. This is also going out in other states. Texas has been also verified. It says MIAC Strategic Report 2/2009. It says it's entitled The Modern Militia. And it equates modern militia members as terrorists. Anybody that is involved with a militia is a terrorist. Now, who is involved with a militia? Therefore, who is a terrorist? Well, on page 7 of this document, it spells out who the terrorists are.
Born citizens.
It's us! Listen to this. You'll find political paraphernalia on these people, whether it be on their bumpers with bumper stickers, or patches on their jackets, or yard sign, or whatever.
Ron Paul before.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on Glenn Beck the other night. Yeah.
Listen to this. Members most commonly associate with third-party political groups. It is not uncommon for these members to display Constitution Party, Campaign for Liberty, Ron Paul, or libertarian material. These members are usually supporters of former presidential candidates Ron Paul, Chuck Baldwin, and Bob Barr. How many of you guys supported Ron Paul or Chuck Baldwin? How many of you guys have a bumper sticker on it about the Second Amendment? Okay. Anything talking about the Constitution, how many of you got to have a bumper sticker like that? Yeah, well, I didn't bring my Explorer, but it's plastered with them, like, not as bad as Bruce's. Not as good as Bruce's.